Oh, guys, I'm so sorry. I clicked the back button and it just killed it. So I'm sorry. Um, I know I'm alive. Very surprising. Um, I lost all the questions that were in the chat though. So if you guys have college recruiting questions, drop them down below. If you already put one in the stream that was happening 20 seconds ago that I accidentally crushed, go ahead and drop them back in and I'll get to them. Sorry guys, I clicked the freaking back button and it freaked out on me. Um, yeah, I don't know. That was really unfortunate. I got to make sure that I don't do that. You guys got any questions, or should we just stop the stream there? That was tough. Any last questions that I can answer for you guys before we hop off? I'm sorry about that. I lost all the questions that were in the chat. Yeah, and it's Friday, you know. Anything I can answer for you guys before we hop off? Sorry about that. Lesson learned. Don't click the back button. I don't know why I did that. How can you make a standout email to a school? So keep in mind that so standout email is interesting. What's really going to make you stand out is the quality of your play. That's what's going to make you stand out, and the evidence that you share. Of course, like little things that you could do to make the email better or those types of things. Yeah. But really, what's going to make you stand out is coaches. And this is what some people miss. Coaches they go straight to the video. They go straight to the video. And so a lot of times they won't even read the message. And so if you're writing like super long messages, they're probably not reading them. They're probably not reading them. So the best thing that I would do is get to the point, get straight to the video if you play a skill-based sport, and let the video do the talking. That's what's going to help you stand out. Nothing else. We back again. Yeah, we're back again. I accidentally killed the stream. I apologize. We'll finish up with a few more questions here, and then we'll call it and just say, you know what? It is what it is. It happens. How do I follow up with a coach who didn't respond to my email? Typically, we send 3 follow-ups in a span of a few weeks. And then what we'll do, so the follow-ups, you should send more video that you haven't already sent before. If you have additional skills that you didn't send in the first email, then you should include those in the second email. And so the idea is that you're just giving them another piece of information. So think of all the things that you might share, in an email to a college coach. You might have video and stats, a coach contact information, right? Like your coach's phone number or something like that. You might have all these different things that you would include, transcripts. Each one of those, instead of putting them all into one message, you can just use those and send like each one in your follow-ups. That's like the general idea of it. Any thoughts on reclassifying? Yeah, I got thoughts on reclassifying. I've seen it work incredibly well for some families, and I've seen it as a nightmare for some families. So like worst case scenario, I've seen families where they had like D2 and D3 offers and they wanted D1 offers. So they held the kid back. And then the following year they thought, oh, he's bigger, faster, stronger. He'll get more offers. He actually didn't. Not only did he not get D1 offers, he didn't have D2 or D3 offers, and it actually backfired. So that would be like an example where it doesn't work out. And then I've also seen the example where the kid has D2 and D3 offers, reclasses, and then the kid committed to Stanford and had like 10 D1 offers, and it worked out great. I've seen both. So reclassifying can make sense. It's a really big decision. There are a lot of repercussions. There's probably more cons than pros to it. It's not an automatic solution like some families think that it is. And so you should really talk to somebody who knows what they're talking about before you make a decision that's that serious. So again, it could be really good. It could be really bad. You got to be really careful before you make a decision like that. Had a phone call yesterday. D3 school wants to see me play. I would see the field a lot. Amazing. Congratulations. Yo, we back again. We are back again. That was a mistake. Coaches follow my Insta stories. Is it okay to respond? they heart them. I kind of only send emails now. What's the best way to use Insta for this direct message? Yeah, if you're going to use Insta, direct message would be the best. And yeah, you can absolutely respond if you feel like there's something to say. If you don't feel like there's something to say, then don't respond, right? You're not looking for communication just for communication. You're always trying to move the process forward in some way. Sun 6'3", 200 pounds, 4'3", MVP, senior year, 26. One JUCO, one D3, one AI. I feel like he is more of a D2 guy. How long does he have to decide or wait for more offers? There's a lot of questions that I would have around that. Like, what have those schools that have given you offers, what have they told you? Have they given you a deadline? Have they said, don't worry about it, you'll always have a place here if you want it? Like, it depends on what those conversations have looked like. And it also, I would say, it depends on how much you say you think he's a D2 level guy. How many D2 schools are you talking to? If the answer is 0, then I probably wouldn't wait that long, and maybe he's not a D2 guy. If the answer is you're talking to D2 schools, okay, that's a different story, right? Have you had phone calls with them? Have you had like unofficial visits with them? And so I would need to know more about your situation to really give you specific advice on that. But the first thing I would do if I were you is get clarity on the offers that you have. Are those going to be around for a while, or are they not going to be around for a while? And they may not directly tell you, but you'll be able to pick up on the things they're saying or not saying to get some intro, to like get a vibe check on that kind of thing. Phone call yesterday. School wants me to play. How can I use that as leverage to get better teams and better schools? So I kind of mentioned this before. I had answered another question about this, so I don't want to go too deep on this to repeat myself. But you should be telling all the schools about that offer. Now, keep in mind, if you're trying to get D1 schools and you have a D3 offer, you using that as leverage is not going to be as powerful, right? Because you're moving up market. So you're going to, you'd probably use a D3 offer to go get more D3 offers. But I would be mentioning that everywhere. I'd mention it depending on your sport, but I'd mention it on social media. I'd let other coaches in that conference know about it. I'd let coaches you're talking to know about it. I would push that everywhere. College coach comes to your high school and you don't get an offer, but it's your dream school. Should you still reach out and mention the school was at your school? Yes, you should still reach out. What's the harm? If they say no, they say no. If they're not interested, they're not interested. But there's no harm in doing that. And who knows? Maybe it'll work out for you. When would you reclassify? Best case scenario, 10th, 11th grade. I actually have a conversation with a family. It's a testimonial interview. You can find it on our website. And it's with a family. They reclassed and committed to Stanford. And in that interview, the reason I'm saying that and bringing that up is because for anybody that's interested in reclassing, I would go watch that interview. And you'll see Stanford commit somewhere on there. Watch that interview because that mom, we dive deep into reclassing, when to reclass, pros and cons, things to think about. It's a really helpful conversation about reclassing. And so I recommend going and watching that. She said, I'll just tell you exactly what she said. She said it would have been significantly easier to reclass in middle school than high school. And it's mostly around compliance and academics and courses. That stuff gets a little bit tricky. And so she said, and they reclassed in high school for what it's worth. They reclassed 11th grade. So you can do it for sure, but she said it would have been a lot easier if they had done it in middle school. How important are events like Nike Indoor, New Balance, track? That stuff, normally my response to like track stuff is like, or not track stuff, but just showcases and camps in general is, talk to coaches before you go to the events for the schools you're in conversations with, etc. Track is a little bit of a different beast because it's stats based. If you go to one of those events and you run really fast, it's pretty good for you. So it's a little bit different, but that's kind of how, I would. Thank you. You're welcome. Son's a 27 soccer player, gotten invited for unofficial visits at D2s. Is that typical? What would next steps be after an unofficial visit? Yeah, that's normal. My first thing is you should ask what the next steps are. Like when you go on the unofficial visit, you should say, hey, coach, what are the next steps? Because they might say, well, just let us know when you want to commit here. Oh, I have an offer. Yeah, you have an offer, right? Like sometimes it goes like that. Other times you'll say, what are the next steps? And they'll say, well, we're really looking forward to seeing you play this summer. And then oh, okay. So they still have more evaluation to do and they plan on doing that this summer. So I would straight up ask them, what are next steps there? That's the first thing that I would do. The next steps are probably going to be exactly what I just told you. They either need to continue to see him more and are going to look for his season schedule so that they can do that, or they're going to say, hey, we'd love to have you back on for an official visit, or hey, we have an offer for you. We'll get you the details. It could go in a million different ways. Is it typical to get invited based on film only? It's possible to get invited based on film only. Yeah, totally. It's less common nowadays because coaches view high school athletes as more risky to recruit than college athletes, because college athletes are bigger, faster, stronger, played against collegiate competition, have been away from home before. That's a less risky deal to them. So college coaches more than ever want to see high school athletes in person, but we've had high school athletes not just get invited on visits based on film. That's actually fairly common, but rather like get full-on scholarship offers without them ever watching the player in person. We've had that happen a number of times, but it's rare in today's recruiting world. Thanks. You're welcome. All right, guys, we're an hour on the dot there. I want to go quickly knock this out before snow comes. Appreciate you guys coming. Sorry that I killed that initial stream, lost a bunch of questions and viewers and stuff like that, but it is what it is. I hope you guys have a wonderful Friday. Thank you for being here. We do this every Monday to Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern. We'll be back again on Monday. Come hang out. Have a wonderful weekend. Great to see you all, and I'll see you guys on Monday.